Okay, the release of Dwarf Fortress delayed Alundra a little bit, but we're back. I reviewed my notes from last episode. It might still take me a little bit to get my sea legs back here. We'll see. Oh, God. I'm using a PS3 controller, and it timed out. Let me see if I can just change the controller settings, reassign. This doesn't work. I gotta go switch to another controller. Hold on. One sec. All right, let's try that again. Howdy, Chaos Serp. How you doing? My PS3 fan is running so loud. I'm really worried about that thing. I think if it fails, it's much harder to get a new one than it is to get a PS2. I have one of the backwards compatible PS3s too, so I guess a lot of these games are technically emulatable, but hey. I don't have room for that, do I? Didn't think so. I don't know if I can move those. Interesting. I can ride those on the top. Good to know. I have to be riding it by the time I get there to be able to jump up and hit that switch. Okay. It's really hard to time, actually. Wonder if I just have to like trigger the boulder when the spike ball is in the exact right part of the screen. Oh, I needed to be able to jump on it from the other boulder. Shoot, 1 second. Naturally. There we go, that's more like it. First try. This game has mean game over conditions, so about to say I might want to go back and save. Thief, infidel, you shall regret the mere thought of defiling the sacred ground. Regret shall consume your soul. Consume your thoughts, as your soul is blood of what life remains of it. Oh god. Only take damage when he's up like that? Okay. I think I have a better weapon for this. I only get one hit every time. Boss fights in this game are pretty tough. Yeah. Maximum one hit whenever it comes up. Whoa! Oh god, what happened? Oh god, I'm gonna die. My controller just stopped accepting inputs for a second there. Have some herbs. Invulnerable when he launches those at me? I think so. Probably gonna have to fight him again. I don't have enough herbs for this. I might try using the charge sword instead, since I can only hit him occasionally anyway. How many hit points do you have, dude? Every time he hits, it hits really hard, too. Sound effects are burned into your mind. Did you watch the Landstalker playthrough or play any Landstalker yourself? A really nice follow-up to that. I'm dead. I think I have like a fairy. How many health does he have? Oh my god. Shit. Didn't get the hit in. I wonder if there's like a weapon upgrade I can have at this point that would help a little bit. Shit. Definitely going to die, there's no way. I'm doing damage to him, right? Let me try using my Earth Scroll. Shoot. Don't know if that hit him. I mean, I saw it hit him, but I don't know if I need every rock to hit him for it to do full damage. Whew. Do wish the game, like, hinted at where the hands are going to come out. I guess you can avoid them if you're just moving constantly, pretty much. Shit. Dude, how much health does he have? Seriously. Ugh. Well, I had more health than I thought I did. I thought I was one hit away from dying there. At least next attempt, I'll be better prepared to use my resources less stupidly. Kingdom for a health bar, right? Shit. Whoops. Well, good try. Watch him be like 2 hits from dying there. On the plus side, I get my items back. Try the sword instead, maybe?
Bogus.
Gotta do the, older puzzle again, but I'll save this time. Wish I knew how much damage the earth attack does, because like it looks like it's just a regular attack, but I assume it hits harder than... I can't tell if it's just it does the damage of a sword swing, but it's AoE, so it'll like wipe everybody in a room, you know? Can't believe the game gave that to me. I don't think I deserved it. Oh, you... Well, so much for that. I saw the little cliff on the side there, but... Way to go. You gotta, don't think just go your way into this room, basically. Died a lot of times the previous boss, so I'm gonna go save real fast. Thank you. Yes, please. How about there? Seems great. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I think there's another block I have to break open. All right, attempt number 2. Different strategy. Shit, not a great start. Yeah, I don't know if that does, how much more damage that does. Hopefully more. Bosses are way better in this game than they were in Landstalker. Landstalker bosses were generally pretty lame. The game was more about like the dungeon design and puzzles. Shit. Oh man, do the hands never spawn next to me? I wonder if I can get away with like just standing still for the most part. Nope, they spawn right on top of me. Good to find out. Thought they were like doing a predictive thing. Hey Jahan, how you doing? God. It's an attack at the end there. Oh, wow. Okay, apparently the charge attack does way more damage than the flail. Good to know. I'll remember that for future bosses.
We've got this, Marstead. Where? How? Where? First try.
That was like 10 hits instead of like 50 hits or something. I feel like I hit him 50 times in the first attempt. Lack of hit points or lack of health bar makes it hard to tell. You Lars's friend? The water scroll. It's giving me a empty chest. That's weird. Does it just use the same animation as the guy who dropped 2 chests for me before? Thanks, bud. Alright, knowing this game is probably an event flag that changed something back in town. Does spring have anything to do with spring cleaning, though? Like, when it's actually spring? Take that to mean I haven't gotten around to this in a while, so I'm gonna do it now. Because if you have like a magic house that can only be cleaned when the cherry blossoms are in bloom or some shit. I like the flail a lot, but if the sword does that much more damage, I guess it depends on whether the enemies die in one hit from the flail. Most of them do. Ouch. Yeah, I guess the problem with that boss is that I can't, because it only takes 1 hit at a time before it goes underwater. No kitties allowed. Literally just dumb luck, friend. Cold milk. Play too many video games. I keep pressing the Monster Sanctuary button to get to the inventory. Playing it with Andrea this weekend. I need to go to Inoa proper. I instinctively went to go like use a crystal shard to teleport back to town. Okay, cool. Talk to everybody. While you were gone, hey, Myra went into shock and collapsed. Oh. She dreamwalking? That would be bad. I'll do a remix of this song, but replace the sound with the Roblox oof. Yeah. Save because this game has very mean game over conditions. And also it apparently likes to put bosses immediately after a puzzle. That happened with that other boss that I was struggling with. There was a short puzzle before it and I kept going like, I don't want to spend the time to go back and save after completing the puzzle and beating the cutscene because my next attempt is going to be the successful attempt, right? Probably want to restock on those eventually, the herbs. The same pad, nice. Normal and fine. This game has a really goofy localization. I'm trying to remember some of the examples from last episode, but a lot of like real world pop culture references. The one guy that they like localized to be a weird like surfer dude. Gonna be the very last house in the town, isn't it? Locked. Yeah, right. Dude, you're not the center of the universe, okay? Maybe you'd noticed sooner. Nadia wouldn't have suffered her most heinous death. I'm still bent at you. Like, he's not just a surfer dude. He's, like, specifically, like, Ted from Bill and Ted. Most non-triumphant. she's got silly shoes like I do. Prevent yourself from dreaming at all costs. What are you babbling about this time? You and I have lost the power of creation, yet Jess is able to craft wondrous weapons. He's been moved to make them by the spirits of the deceased. That's right. In this game, whenever people die, your surrogate dad in the house gives you an upgrade. It's great. Basically, it gives me no incentive to try to save anyone's life. We deny ourselves the right to dream, we deny our own humanity. Can be done, but at an unspeakable risk. Maya the Dreamwalker made quite an impression upon arriving at the village of Inoa. She and Septimus strongly disagree on how to stop the nightmares. Septimus suspects she harbors secrets. Okay. That was a normal sound. Will you show me the face of one writhing in the midst of unbearable pain? Or rather, will you show me the sweet life that flows through your body like warm wine? Boy, what's going on? Being a bit of a creep. This is very bad. You know what I am saying? I assume him constantly ending phrases with "you know what I'm saying" is the same thing being translated from in Final Fantasy X. Yuna ends everything she says with "you know." They were the eyes of a bloodthirsty monster. Eagle shape wasn't so unusual to be picked. Lion attacked you? He just wanted the sweet life that flows in my veins. See what you mean, Cass. It's such a, like a power walk, right? Eternal power walk. What the? He's got shit to do. Exactly. It's not this way. Don't tell me this is just go into all the houses that have an open door. came in. I think I did this in the opposite order. That would have made sense. Decline Nocturnal? I guess so. Ugh. So is he like holding a vase in front of him, or is that like his shirt with a belt? I think it's a shirt with a belt based on his portrait. But it's pretty convincingly him holding a vase too. Grabbing his belt, I see. My favorite misunderstood sprite is still Owzer from Final Fantasy VI. If you look at the Yoshitaka Amano concept art, it's actually about as good of an interpretation as you could do. But he just looks like a weird frog thing. I didn't realize that like most of his body was a couch. Septimus. I like this game a lot. I think it's got really good like dungeon design. Like a lot of the puzzles. I like them in Landstalker too, but something I find frustrating is the dependence on event flags for the story to move forward. Okay. Oh, it's one of those. Leave the house and then the flag is set. Yeah, right? Yeah, he's like a really fat guy sitting on a chair. Body's been ravaged by the evil. Yeah, the updated sprite. At least that one's a little bit more clear that he's like sitting on a couch or a beanbag chair or something. Mine is destined to perish. Yeah, sure, why not? I feel like I should go save again, but let's go in. Let's go. At what cost? Like there were a couple Final Fantasy IV sprites that I found confusing as a kid too. Are we gonna get an ice block puzzle? Ice physics. Oh god. Oh good god. This is the worst actually. Oh, that's so mean. Well, at least I know where they are now. This is the weirdest way to do ice physics. It's like you're slippy slidey, but also you have to walk in place for a second and then you like suddenly shunt forward. Just bunny hop everywhere. God damn it. Grateful Luigi doesn't move like this. Yeah, Naming Way was one that I was always confused by. I think Sid in Final Fantasy IV as well. I didn't really realize I was looking at a beard. Oh boy. Should not be ice physics in the snow game. We're gonna do a thing where like one of the rewards are shoes where I don't have ice physics anymore. Quality of life upgrade. Oh hey, save point. Oh yeah, that's wild. Like I know exactly what the Naming Way sprite looks like in my mind. I'm like, yeah, it's like a weird little yellow guy, right? And I Googled it, like, what the fuck is that? He's like a bunny? He always been a bunny? It's a little banana suit, yeah. Oh, you sit in FF6, yeah. He's wearing a giant condom. That one was confusing too, because I think he has a mustache. I was thinking of Sid in Final Fantasy IV. Supposed to be like bunny ears coming out of the hat, I think. Uh-oh. That's a weird puzzle. Okay. Oh, I had it. I think. Probably should know what I'm doing here before I... We need to go up. No, it's down! Ah! Huzzah! Okay. Oh, this is a boss familiar. Just a regular enemy. Okay, well now I need to use a sword. It's a nice way to keep the sword relevant, I guess, for enemies that limited number of times you can hit them. Thank you. Mousy marsupial. Oh boy. To like contain the little rock, if I can bring it back up here. Oh, don't tell me I have to come through here twice now that the boulder's busted. Let's see. Wait on. Good luck knowing what the fuck you're doing here. Might be able to make that jump. That'd be a different one of these I can raise then. Let's see about jumping down to that chest. Yeah, there's no way. Can't even depth perception. Cute. I think to try that. Oops. To make sure I hold my controller above my desk because it drops occasionally. PS3 is like across the room from me. Progress. Oh, come on, man. Don't tell me you're stuck there. I hope you don't need to be attacked for this to... Okay, we're good. Door can be heard creaking open in the distance. I miss Shimomura's art being driving the Final Fantasy series. I think Nomura is a pretty good artist, but he also kind of just draws like anime characters that look cool. I like the thick black lines and stuff, but you get some really funky ass drawings from Shimomura. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, mono. My bad. I misspoke. Shimomura is a composer. Yoshitaka Mono Yoko Shimamura. Yeah, I really like the watercolor look. The old concept art. There might be the added element that all of the Amano games, there's some amount of like interpretation of the art that has to occur, it feels like. Because the style is so weird. Oh no, it's a it's a Team Rocket puzzle, fuck. Oh god. Okay. Now, why would I hate these but like ice block puzzles so much? Even do anything in this room right now? Can I jump over the tiles? Oh no, that's even worse. This game's like janky ass jump too. Yeah, I agree with that. And all at the same time still look like it's like an actual thing in the world. Do this with encounter rates. Oh no. Can't jump while on that. The added dimension of being able to jump over them is actually kind of interesting. Might be a puzzle where I need the enemy to step on that. I guess not. I think that did something on the other side of the room. I don't want to go to it right now. Now we have an ice block puzzle. Okay. And they're being tricksy about it. I think if I push this forward, it's gonna go under there, which isn't gonna stop it from falling, right? So I have to have two pillars to hold it up. I think what you do... If I push this first, that might cause problem. I think you do this. It's not going to end under it, though, is it? Oh, that was the one I wanted to push, but okay. You just confirm 100% that doesn't count as being under it. Because if it does, it changes the puzzle significantly. Okay, good. I thought it was going to be more complicated. I was going to have to arrange those to get two pillars underneath it. Might still need a pillar, though. Let's see. Jump. I need this one. Probably need all 3 to get across. Yeah, okay. So step 1 is less complicated than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, this and Alundra are pretty solid Sega attempts at Zelda clones. This and Landstalker, I mean, this is Alundra. I can't talk today, my brain's fried. Sorry, everybody. Oh, okay, this is actually... It is more complicated, just in the other direction. All right. So let's see. Need one to be able to go all the way down there. I also need one to go up there. What if I push this one down? Is that going to be good enough? Damn it. That might actually be okay. Where does this go to when I push it? I think that's okay. I think this one just goes up then. Yeah, this is the sequel to Landstalker. Take platforming over random battles any day. No contest. Yeah. Phew. Cheese this in Landstalker by standing on top of one of the spike balls, but I don't think that's gonna work here. This is interesting. So one of those is gonna be a place where I'm briefly gonna get an opportunity to jump up onto the chest, presumably. Oh, the whole thing is timed. Cool. Come on. Okay, that doesn't get me up to the chest. And none of the blocks are positioned anywhere where the chest would be easier to get to. Maybe I'll get an upgrade here later that'll make it accessible. Oh no. Team Rocket blocks and ice blocks. And a pit that I can fall in. Oh, the pit probably has me drop down to where the chest is. Okay. And teleporting enemies. Ooh, the lolly. Okay. Oops, well. Try to figure out what I'm doing here. That's the boss tower, I would assume. I think I've seen this opened a door like this earlier by doing a puzzle in another direction. Fortunately, the puzzles all say something vague like, a door opened in the distance. And it's like, okay, which one? At least they don't make me do that puzzle again when I fall. Close. Whoops. A little bit higher. Yeah, there's a little Mitsudo lick there. Da 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 da. Gotta be kidding me, game. Is it like slightly higher on an angle, maybe? Right, gave it to me. Thanks. Putting a key there is very mean. That definitely has the look of like an optional chest. Yeah, I was expecting like a life vessel or something. Haven't seen any locked doors. I don't think that door that I got to earlier that I couldn't use was locked technically. Oh, well. That would have made things a little easier. Cool. Does this count as a locked door? I think that might. No, it doesn't. Okay. Need 2 more. Okay. That was like an Uber puzzle. There's a bunch of sub rooms that I can do in any order to open those 3 doors. Don't think being able to fall from the ceiling matters there. I'm gonna have to do this puzzle again later. These should trend towards resetting me, I think. Something opened when I hit the switch in this room earlier. His mind has really complicated nightmares. That door wasn't open before, I don't think. What the fuck? But the chest there is a perfect perspective trap. Wonder if at some point in this game's development it was still isometric like Landstalker. I feel like a lot of the puzzles would make a little bit more sense if you could see more of the map. This is that goddamn pirate ship puzzle in Mario RPG. Crap. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Save, so we made some progress there. What's the water scroll do? Water shield and HP recovery. Okay, that's probably a better use of my mana. Ice physics. Might be more to do over here now. Let's see. Can't go behind the tower. Already been in there, and I think I'm done in there. I think I did this already, but I'm just double checking. I did not. Dun 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 dun. Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Interesting. Does that temporarily block the... Oh, that's actually very weird. Oh, does it alternate them? Then it's less weird. Okay, yes, it does alternate them. That might actually be optional. Where would I get on top of? Have to be from the staircase, I guess? I have no depth perception there at all. Alright, so the ice blocks need to run into each other at some point. And I think these platforms have nothing to do with the solution, question mark? Pretty straightforward, actually. At least the switch part of it. Okay, well, that opens the door. How do I get to the chest? No way for me to jump on the pillars anywhere in this room except for from the staircase. So one of the pillars has to start near the staircase, presumably. I'm guessing the whole thing can be solved without having them in any position related to the switches. Let's see. Is this door still open? It is. Just get them all on the side, maybe. Oh, that's in a corner. Oh, wait, maybe not. Sweet. Guess maybe I could have also done it on the right side, but... Why is this even here, then? I guess this one's just like a red herring. Okay. Don't question it. First boss. Totally looks like Yakra from Chrono Trigger. Okay, what are we doing in here? Just have to end with that, I'm guessing. Almost certainly has to go up. I didn't mean to move that, but I think we might still be okay. All about just doing these in the right order, I guess. Can go across the other side. Oh, that's lucky. I didn't plan for that. Happens to be correct. What is the deal with the weird tombs? Bombable? It has cracks in it. Did it just eat my bomb? It's even weirder. Okay. Don't know for now. Game does have red herring puzzles, which I think is fine. Okay, so we need to get a pillar on here. I think means pushing this one, and like this, and like this. There's a hole upstairs for me to fall into. Hooray, I thought so. Tell me all those pillars are for one. Okay. Well, I think I'm just gonna try stuff then. I think I'm already wrong. Pushing these make them fall downstairs. It makes them get destroyed. Okay. I'm pretty limited in the direction I can push a lot of these here. I'm pretty sure that's wrong, but that seems promising. It, like, annoyingly requires me to go all the way across. That feels like that maybe means something useful. Did not mean to do that. I think that that one's lost now. Might be okay. I might not need it. Is it really just a matter of getting them all on the same like x-axis and pushing them all until they're able to stack on it? That seems very difficult. Don't think that's correct. Oh shit. Well, at least the room stays solved. I gotta do this again, though. Been nice to put a little, like, switch at the top that, like, put a permanent pillar there for me. Going right into a pretty hardcore ice block puzzle upstairs, though. Probably gonna take me a while to piece together. Okay. So, can we take advantage of the position of this initial pillar? Probably. Pushed it by accident last time and then kept going just to see what would occur. Seems like the obvious first move, which probably means it's wrong. Can't get another one on the same line with that, right? But I can do this, which would get me the answer if I could get some more pillars pushed through there. Shit. I keep accidentally pushing. I'm trying to like walk past it. Okay. Feels pretty correct. Don't accidentally push that one. Don't really have any other way to block stuff here. I don't think this is right, but I kind of want to see what it produces. This is useless. Oh, actually, no, I think this is it. This is a good one. That was a really good ice block puzzle. Don't fall in the hole. Still don't fall in the hole, please. I think that's my last key then. Yeah, that was pretty complicated. Oh, you can make the jump. All right. Oh, hold on. This again. I probably, if I was playing this when I was a kid, I'd probably been really stuck on that room. It's interesting that I like enjoy ice block puzzles and they don't stress me out like sliding block puzzles do. Like the ones where you only have the 1 degree of freedom and you have to move the one piece around in order to like get the entire puzzle complete. My brain does not cooperate with those for whatever reason. God damn it. Press jump, I swear. I think they're kind of requiring a similar sort of looking ahead logic. You're generally not supposed to push the ice block where it looks obvious you're supposed to send it, you know? At least if it's a well-designed puzzle. Okay. Press the jump button. There you go. Okay, phew. Harder than it looks. Like a life vessel out here would be nice. Oh, it's just a short. Okay, well, that's fine. I needed to come here anyway. That could be the boss fight, though. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna go save. These bosses are hard. Hey, Shoal. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I rented it briefly when I was a kid. I had played Landstalker on the Genesis, so I was excited about it, but I never got past like the first area. So it's nice coming back to it as an adult. It's actually, I have a voting system that determines what games I play, so this one won the vote. Play it till we beat it. 1 day per week. One degree of freedom puzzles have tricks to them. Yeah, that's what I was getting at, is I think that that's generally what you're supposed to do with sliding block puzzles, is treat them the same as an ice block puzzle and say, if it looks like it's going to move you towards the answer, it's probably the wrong answer and you need to do something more complicated. But for whatever reason, my brain just fries when I'm trying to do them. I think my brain might be incompatible with Minesweeper too, although that could just be that I haven't played it for 20 years. I was pretty embarrassed playing that Demon Crawl game. I don't know if it's I just don't have Minesweeper vision or... You can do Sudoku, which seems like it's a significantly more complicated version of sort of the same idea, but... Going this way, I have to do 2 puzzles. I think the other way, I only have to do 1 puzzle. Hopefully I don't screw it up. Shoot. It's like Alundra has a little space that's like 10 pixels wide on either side of him that can push the blocks. Got a wide berth. There we go. Already solved this. It was an excellent puzzle. Don't fall, Mr. Power Walking Man. Okay, here we go. Now, there's gonna be a save point right through the door, isn't there? Oh no, another Team Rocket puzzle. Okay. There's a lot of temporarily vulnerable teleporting enemies, which is an improvement over Landstalker, where most enemies were solvable by just kind of like stun locking them against a wall, so can't say I'm mad about it. Wow, I can't believe it let me do that. Okay. Oh, it just slightly pushes you. Okay, weird. Puzzle fatigue fast. Finish nonograms in half the average as you complete your time. Can hear that, yeah. I like nonograms. Ones are pretty good. I love some of the Cracking the Cryptic guys do puzzles that are like a combo Sudoku and nonogram. Those ones are really, really good. Oh. Womp womp. You're not gonna get me to use consumables, game, no matter how hard you try. They required me to top off. What's up, bud? You gonna howl at me? Get more use out of that sound effect? Oh shit. That's a pretty sweet sprite. Damn. Okay, so it doesn't take damage directly, it seems like. Maybe only when its mouth is open. Tell me it's not actually tracking his health. Hope not. I probably have to throw bombs in his mouth, huh? Cosmic horror hates smoke, something like that. Slimes exist to make it. It does work. Really easy to still get eaten. This guy does so much less damage than the previous, like, coastal cave boss, despite looking way more threatening. Oop. Oh god! Get hit by your own bomb? It's best to just let him eat these. Oh, they do drop health though, that's good. Way. Well, they can still drop health even if, uh-oh. He's the one that kills them, you know. How many times he's allowed to get eaten before I die, you know? Eat me, not him. You keep running down. It looks like I can block him accidentally while he's running away. okay. As long as I get eaten and not him. Run away! It is I, Septimus. I pray you can hear this. Klein is writhing in pain and screaming. You must exit his dream at once. I did my best. What's wrong with Klein? He's changing. Oh, shit. Is it Dream Wolf? Oh, I was actually in control there. That's funny. Yes, everyone, stand around and watch. Oh, that sucks. He's actually quite nasty, much harder than the boss I was just fighting, I think. I don't know if the charge sword is the way to go. Does crazy more damage than the mace, but might be in one-shot range. Let me try to save myself here. It's just way safer to try to Morningstar him. Flail him, rather. Something's happening. Much shorter fight, but would suck the game over on it after the easy but long previous fight. Hey, he died! Sweet. That means that the blacksmith's gonna make me a new weapon. Alundra just, like, fails constantly in this game. Mine was transformed into a bloodthirsty werewolf by his horrible nightmare. Great evil orchestrating it all. I don't know, guys. I'm pumped. That means more stuff. I'm gonna save after I get the item. Oh no! Klein died. That sucks. No big whoop. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of like that Alundra fails constantly. Oh, it's the main weapon. That's surprising. Interesting. Pretty cool. It has a Landstalker thing where you're not rooted if you jump and attack at the same time. You can do it a little bit faster. I said this last episode, but I'd be curious to see what the speedrun is for this game. I'm hoping it's like just someone who's really good at Alundra as opposed to being a bunch of like wrong warp glitches or something. It's pretty precise. And there's a lot of little puzzle skips you can do if you can just like jump it just the right way. My mom said I still can't dream. Is it true I'll die if I do? Pretty dark, pretty scary. What's up? There's something inside that rock. Like Lavos? Can't cut grass, that makes sense. I have no idea where I'm going or what this bow and arrow unlocks, so I'm just gonna run around and see if I run into something. I can also swim now, but I think I've found everything associated with swimming. I wonder if this does less damage than the other weapons just because it has range. I'm saying that it can't hurt the slimes until they're standing up. Orla Mountain. Yikes. So I probably didn't come here before, but it just says items that I am already full on. Yeah, I thought so. I get some herbs, that's nice. Y'all bomby boys? I bet that sarcophagus in that dungeon is made of the same stuff as these. Womp. That's promising. Have I always been able to hit these? Oh. Maybe there were some that were previously inaccessible, though. You could start. It's really easy to talk shit about all the kids who couldn't put the, like, silver monkey thing together in Legends of the Hidden Temple, but I bet it was actually really hard. I don't think that's a makeable jump. Can't open the Torii gates. Guessing they're going to be fast travel later on. Doubt it's here, but I can try going up to... if I use the bow to shoot any of the heads. I can't reach that one. Can't jump on that rock. Oh, well, that's new. Right, I forget how many of them there were. Nice. I think there's another one, though, that I'm nowhere near. I wonder if I'm gonna get a double jump or like a, what do you call it? Ana Samaria, something to like spawn blocks in eventually. Oh, wow. I think I've already done everything there is to do in here. Do I need to wait until I can deal with these boulders? Alright. Killed two of the heads, though. That's nice. Alright. I have no idea where progress is, but I did find a couple things that the bow and arrow can do for progression reasons, so keep looking. Probably not anywhere in the desert. I feel pretty done with this place. Sandcape my way out of here. Has that same drum noise from Ocarina of Time and the Goron city. Makes you move faster to jump constantly. Watermill, desert, swamp. I guess I'll try the swamp. Still can't make those things work. Now let's keep trying to do the swamp. Marsh, watch your step. We're dropping down here earlier. Oh, that did something. Don't think this was open before. Reptile lair. Oh, okay. That's new. Be a door behind one of these, right? These guys are in Landstalker as well. It is locked. Okay. Because I could suspect some speedrun cheese, like jumping over that somehow. One of those chests probably has a key in it. Landstalker was very comfortable giving you, yeah, a floating block puzzle like this where you could like get them out of phase with each other by bumping into one of them. Hopefully that's not a problem here because I can't reset them, I don't think. Gets me somewhere. Did something. Whatever it is, blessedly doesn't appear to be timed. Oh, that's annoying. You can make it. It looks really tight, though. Oh man, I think every time I delay it like that, I make it even harder for me to connect them. That time it wasn't so bad. Maybe if I do it, wait till it gets all the way to the bottom, then I can make it. This is fine. They would have overlapped there if I hadn't have just like bumped into it. I think this one might be on an intentionally really weird, like, long path to try to help you. Gah! I was gonna say to try to help them get back into phase with each other, but wait till it's down in here. There we go. First try. That, yeah, I think that chest might be actually in the water. I'm not gonna drop down there to get it until I do everything over here. Interesting. I will take it. Ow. I think this is like comparable damage to the sword. Longer range, which is nice. Killing them all on the assumption that something's going to happen when they all die, which maybe is not a good assumption to be making. I would use the bow and arrow on them, but does not work on them specifically. Wasn't worth it. Cool. Oh, hey, there's a save point. Oh, never mind. Just a regular warp. I'll come back to that in a second then. Oh, is this the alternate entrance to the dungeon? It might be, actually. Yeah. Found that earlier. Oh, that's like extra mean. I think it's actually the only way to get back out. So weird that they have a thing that blocks me, but I can still shoot arrows through. Makes me suspect shenanigans somewhere in this room, but maybe not. Alright, I tried. Good idea. Can get back where I came from, I think. Blessedly, thanks to swimming. Which I guess implies that I didn't need bow and arrow to get in here. Boy. So many lizard guys. How dare you block my special charge move? I think they still take some damage when they block, maybe? Thank you, Dungeon Grass, for the healing. What, if anything, do these do? They're also effectively Dungeon Grass. Got it. It's weird. Okay. Throwing the rock causes it to break. So I can see it and shoot it from here. I don't think I can trigger switches with that. I can do bombs. I don't think the bomb can reach over there. I don't think so. Don't think I needed that heavy rock, unless if throwing it in the water makes a little platform, which is possible, I guess. It's a height problem. Please tell me that counts as a separate room. Rock respawns. Oops. That's really weird. Throwing the rock causes it to break no matter what. What's the point of this room? Maybe there's like a power-up later that does something with the rock. Why are you here? I don't think it's possible for me to clear this whole place without dropping it. Well, maybe it is. What? Okay, so I guess it breaks if it lands at a weird angle. Gotcha. Health, thank you. So I think I can just drop it on the corner of the last platform then, maybe? did something. That's the way I came. This is a room. Really glad this dungeon has so much grass in it. Axe throwing. Is this a Renaissance fair? Right, that did something. Yeah, I knew I was in trouble there. Oh, the flail cuts grass, but they're like... Bow and arrow cutting grass, please. Like, all need to die simultaneously or something? Guess that's what this is for. Oh, that's so mean. No, maybe it's just a finite number of them have to die. I need to die in a certain order, maybe instead. This third one respawns instantly the moment you kill it. Shit. I guess I'll use this since I keep finding them in chests everywhere and I don't have room for them. Oh, that's fun. I didn't think I could attack them. So this game has really good puzzles. I'm a fan. They've spent the entire dungeon telling me to not think I could interact with those statues in that way, and then I guess the clue there is that that statue does something completely different from the other ones. As conveyance fireball, in case you didn't notice the slight little thing on the ground there, I think. Appreciate it. They're lizard man shamans from RuneScape. That's fairly mean. Okay, I think that one has to stay at a 2. Is this is way less complicated than I think it is, isn't it? Red herring blocks. Okay, got the key. It was fairly deep in. These statues, oh, they're gonna stay dead. Never mind. Something I enjoy in video games. It's a stupid level design thing, but whenever you're in a situation like this where you kind of are forced to design your level geometry so that something is approachable from one direction but not the other, right? You can't get stuck. There's something like that in Superland recently that I really appreciated. The entire exit from this dungeon, like, you could just kind of stroll out even though you had to solve a bunch of puzzles on your way in. And you can't always use the same strategies. It's not always the same geometry depending on like the way your game works. Perfect. Here, elevation matters, but Alundra's maximum jump height is strictly limited. Can I get that chest? Maybe. It's fine, just go around. Wish this game came out like a year or two later and had analog stick support. I normally wouldn't want to use an analog stick in a 2D platformer like this. But the game does often ask you to do like a diagonal jump, and the D-pad doesn't like that. I guess if I were playing it on an emulator, then maybe I'd have that functionality. Cool. I think they probably could have let you carry like 2 strength potions. Is the deal with this? Attackable for some reason. Hmm. One of these like pushable? I don't think they're flailable. Are flailable. Interesting. Whoa. Don't think I was supposed to do that, but I think that's okay. Maybe it was supposed to involve diagonals. Interesting. Oh, actually, I'm really worried that I just soft-locked myself by doing that. Oh, never mind, we're okay. I was always able to fit through there. I thought I, like, accidentally jumped diagonally or something janky like that. These are shorter than the other ones, are they? That wasn't too bad. I need a save point really badly. I've been at this for a while. Oh god. Only vulnerable while they're glowing. Interesting. Kindly, they were not all spawning lizards that whole time. That would be mean. There's a save point. Excellent. Okay. See if that's a one-way warp or not. I did just save. That must be a way back. One-way drop. How dare you jump? Only I may do that. A weird room. I guess I can use that strength potion. These guys are all dead. Come on, bud. Over here. Probably need to kill all y'all, but whatever. Nope. Confirm that I cannot hit that with a bow and arrow. That is the... Okay, it's fine. Don't question it. It's the same fence that I was able to shoot through earlier, I think. Oh, I see a little switch that activated in there. All the puking ones. All the sword ones, presumably. Alundra's really good for novel puzzle interactions like this, like kind of doing the whole riffing on the lizard statue idea. Each room you kind of get a different behavior for the statues. Or if it's the same behavior, it's interesting because it's mixed with some other mechanic. I think the puzzles in this game are, on average, more difficult than the typical Zelda puzzle. Which for me is a good thing, anyway. Depends on the Zelda game. Thank you. Rock I can throw up there or something. Just back the way I came. Don't want to do that. I jump on the head of the statue, maybe? I can't. That's funny. That's pretty tricky. You haven't been required to do that at all so far, so it's not even clear that that would be possible. As soon as I blow up this penis rock, are they all going to come to life? Uses the mace. Oh my god, who could have seen it coming? Who writes this shit? Nice. I got a little shortcut now. It's nice of them. Probably coming up on a boss fight now, I would guess. Yes, please. I think I actually need to take the transporter back. It's just a nice little shortcut to the save point. Thank you. Game makes me understand why games do the thing where it like shows you what the switch did, like cuts to another room or something. Locked. Kidding, that one actually requires a key. Back to the save point, I think. Right, well, the switch I hit did something. I guess I'll start backtracking. I'm worried that I'm already backtracking too much, but apparently need a key. Whatever I'm doing, I've already done this room entirely, so it must be further forward. Definitely missing something. There may have been a passage in this previous room. Hoping I don't actually have to backtrack all the way to the beginning. Don't think I do. It's the boss fight, presumably. We got that switch. That's what added the elevator in the corner here. Just to make sure I'm checking everything. Weird to me that they sometimes use those levers to mean one-time press, and they use the floor pedestals in the same way. You think lever would be turn a thing on and off. Floor pedestal would be permanently turn something on, right? I guess maybe it's there to keep you guessing as to like what the switch is going to do. I made it to this switch. Oh, this is new. I guess I just didn't see this door open before. Maybe there's a key through here. No fireball conveyance that time. Let me know there was a new door open down there. Progress. So just hit this one once. I'm gonna have to switch and have to get hit again. Keep of the Twin Reptiles. Okay. Hooray, that wasn't too bad. Other these don't always come to life. Oh, fuck this. This sucks. Need to like die in a certain order or something. Another twist on the mechanic. Not respawning. Interesting. Bomb did it. Okay. It's just a tell. Oh, I guess it's the twin statues. So that statue gets blown up, the other one gets blown up. I'm gonna laugh if those came to life on my way out. Need hearts. There we go. Excuse me, diamonds. No, you're supposed to get 3 of those without getting hit. Assume it's possible. Pretty silly. Oh, good. Uh-oh. I'd have a bad day. Door closed behind me is alarming. Well, that's one of the times I feel they need to show me text. It's like, yeah, that's the most abominable wall I've ever seen. Is it not bombable? Needs a lot of bombs, maybe? It is reacting to the bomb. Okay. 4 bombs. Now is a good time to use Earth Scroll. Progression item? Oh, it's just a key. Okay, yeah, it goes to the boss. Well, that's nice of them to keep those guys dead. Like that's a slightly different puzzle on the way back. Not really, but I like when puzzles can use the same assets in different ways. Ow. I believe this goes back to the save room. Yes, please. This room. I think going the other way would be faster to get to the locked door, but basically a loop. That's nice of you, game. Thank you. Hey, it's that big-ass room we saw forever ago. I like that you see this room from the other side. Now I'm finally able to get here. He that treads foolishly into the sacred keep shall reap the pain of 1,000 crushed souls. Yikes. Ground stop attack that freezes me in place. Hope I need to kill the ads. Tried to jump. Okay, looks like they keep respawning. I don't think I can hurt the statues. Shoot. Just barely mistimed it there. Seems like there's no point of fighting the regular guys. They just keep coming back forever. I thought he was stuck in that corner. I got really excited. That was much easier. I guess I was using the charged sword attack. Reptilicus Maximus. Amazing. You are the releaser. One of these guys. Geel. I think Lars is the silliest name for these guys. Killed Marcus Aurelius, the lizard man. Right. No chests? Oh, here we go. Door is now open. Sapphire Crest. What's the fire scroll do? Attacks with fire, got it. Knowing this game, something has changed in Inoa, so I'm gonna head back to town. Go get another motherfucker killed. It's my job in this game. I'm not gonna get any of those chests. It said right, but I don't believe it. Go to the Riverside Bar where they'll insult my character for not being an adult. Yeah, I did follow it wrong. Let's see. I don't have anything to spend it on at the moment. I need to find a new shop with like armor or something. I'm looking for you. Bad news. Alright, I'm gonna go get Giles killed. Everything is created and destroyed there. Keep wanting to read. That is Madagascar. Aegiscar. I would like to go to sleep, but I don't think I can. You pay attention to the name of the chapter. Last one was called The Swamp Thing. Maybe because I was already in the dungeon, but I'm curious if that's supposed to be a hint as to where to go. No idea where Giles' house is. Can't wait for you to die, and then I will buy it. It definitely has fewer towns than Landstalker. At least all the doors are locked, presumably except the one that I need. Try Septimus. Entering Giles' nightmare would be madness. You'll kill him. Well, hopefully. You don't understand. I only get new progression items if I accidentally murder people in their dreams. Yeah, sure. If you die in his dream, you die in your life. It's pretty gross looking. Oh, Jim Jam. Favorite kinds of enemies. Teleporting enemies with temporary vulnerability. Really want you to use the charge sword for these, it feels like. Come on. I was lucky. Calculated. Oh, that's pretty gnarly. The freaky mimic. I really do like the whole diving into people's nightmares thing as like a framing device for half the dungeons. It's a waste of time, okay. Or if that exactly the heals the damage you take from stepping on the spikes twice in a row. Yeah. Hold on. Do I have to kill these jerks? Maybe. Like a one-way later. Room feels like a weird dead end. Maybe that's why. I know it looks like I should just be able to jump over those spikes, but I think that Alundra's foot extends like an extra few pixels to the sides. Maybe makeable? Trust it at all. No, I don't think it is. Maybe like there's only certain teleporter monsters and they spawn on specific platforms. I don't think that's right either. That's the only platform I haven't really been able to get on. Might be that there's just nothing in this room other than the chest with herbs in them, but it feels very strange. Nothing else in this room connects, though. There's not like an obvious switch up there. Let me try to leave for now. Jump early? It doesn't matter. Hole to drop down, it looks like. Nice. Team rocket arrows. Well, the small ones just move you slightly. Okay. It's cute. Did something somewhere. Probably should have gone the other way. It's just a way to loop back around to the big room with the herbs. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Hey, that's nice. Thanks, game. Needed the mana recovery, too. Whoops, I just wanted to place it in a different slot. Examining the parchment. Oh, actually, that slot was correct. Interesting. So I come at this room from the other sides later. Okay. So one of those little one-way passages. It has to go right no matter what. I wonder if... Don't think there's any interesting spot to drop to from here. Maybe on this weird platform that appears to be otherwise impossible to land on, but also nothing there. It would be a very weird puzzle if that was the answer. These enemies don't respawn in that room. There's just something else I gotta do in that room. Am I missing something? Gotcha. Okay. Thought I was at progress, I guess not. Oh, is that what that's there for? That seems wild. Push this. It seems just almost makeable if but I can't believe that's what they want me to do here. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's fun. Whoops. There is a chest in that room. Oh, I can use the arrow for that. Interesting. I think it's worked on other switches before, or levers. The thing that bums me out a little bit about Alundra is that although I really like the game and the chests are cool, there's not enough interesting things to get from chests, sadly. Like your inventory caps out on consumables extremely fast, even if you use them somewhat regularly. I don't know what they would make for that, to be honest, but... nice to have something. Or at least, like, let me open the chest and have it get marked as opened. Oh, interesting. Have to be, like, really fast or something? Ah. What did that do? Opened a path that way. Okay, let me see what happens when I drop down this pit, though. Whoops, let me unequip that. Oh, there's like, you're very silly for coming down here. There's enemies here, though. Let's see if there's a secret chest or something. You have to go out of your way to come down here, right? No, the little artifacts are missable. Oh, I need to kill them to get out. Okay. Thought that little lift was going to take me out of here for free. Door's still open. Yes, please. Giles' salvation, it says. About that. I'm not how I'm supposed to get to these chests, unless if I get an item here that lets me create blocks or something. The thing goes back to where it started eventually, but riding it doesn't take you anywhere. Lucky. Lucky again. In 100% calculated. Oh god, is it a lights out puzzle? Sort of. Oh no, it's a hit them fast enough puzzle. Thought so. I don't know if there's a global timer or if the timer just starts after each one you hit. Shoot, guessed the wrong one. Gonna be the most annoying one possible, right? Which means this one down here. Seconds away. Oh. First try. Things can see me, apparently. Oh god. Damage boosting. Doesn't work at all, okay. Chosen wisely. Bombable floor. Surprised that's not it. Could be bringing this with me. What else could this be, I wonder? Just jumping. Can't do anything with these rocks. Can't push them. Arrow doesn't do anything. I'm surprised the bow and arrow doesn't actually have a lot of use cases at this point in the game anyway. I haven't tried the sand cape in a while. That would be kind of funny. Don't think I'm done here. What else I could do? Maybe this is it. No, this still isn't gonna be over there. Weird. Something else is going on in this room. Gotta do this again. Let me try the... I never tell if these are going to shatter or not. I feel like I've done puzzles before where it didn't. Oh, it totally did. Okay. Whoa. Those are floating this time. They were not floating before. Is it a time limit? That's interesting. Go, go, go. Oh, that's crazy. Didn't even notice that the first time. Whoops. Probably could have made it to several of those chests, actually. Can't use it. Go. Oh, okay, it stays open. That's nice of them. Got the falcon. Whoops. Double whoops. Go. Super annoying. Pressing jump. Promise. I do have a wireless controller, which this game has like 0 coyote time, so it makes it a little bit harder. Yeah, I don't need to bring that with me. Doing it out of like habit. Oh, bitch. That's rough. Got hit anyway. Just damage boosted. You don't need to rush and get hit by the spike. Door is already open. Okay. Oh my god. Might be here for a while. Sorry, y'all. You have to like press jump right at the edge of that ledge. Right, 8th time's a charm. This is assuming that I need the crystal over there, but... did press it. Try putting the crystal on the chest, but that feels like that's unintentional. Is there any health in here? Nope. Oh. It's fine. Okay. Hold left. Try putting it on the chest this time. No, I think I need to bring it with me. Otherwise, what's the point? Okay. It's really hard, though. Like, I wish it was, like, one tile further to the west. All right. get my thumb trained here. Oh my god, I did it. Okay. Ignore these things just in case they're bad. Oh, good, it's another one of these. First try, that was really rough. One of those things that I'm sure looks like a really simple jump, but you have to press it in like a very limited window to not just walk off the ledge since there's no coyote time. I'm of the opinion that almost all games would be improved by at least a very small amount of coyote time. Expect shenanigans. Why are there two of them here? Maybe it's just there for display. More hold a button while you fall shenanigans. This is a very mean dream dungeon. I think Giles made their dream dungeon mean just to be mean to Alundra. Made some permanent progress. Presumably I don't have to do that crazy jump off the chest again. I don't know how to get those chests. Oh, I see. I like Alundra puzzles a lot. Hold up this time. There we go. That's not it, right? There's no way. Maybe it's just like holding up guarantees you'll end up in this room and now I have to just jump somewhere from the ledge. I think that's right. Do I go left or right? Ooh. No, I jumped too far. Oh. Kill me. Hold on, I think there's probably gonna be like a key in there or something. Oh, that was a one tile ledge there. Mostly easy to get back, at least. Love that those statues close the wall there, so like if you just barely made it over there with the ice block, you could easily just fuck it up. Almost walked off the side again. Key? Oh. It's a ferry. I don't have room for. Well, now I know. Oh, is this a lights out puzzle? Yes. Additional lights out too. Well, I guess I can't switch green to yellow, which is different than I'm accustomed to. Got it. So I need to bring a ice block here, presumably. Don't think I can just like launch that thing off, no. Oh, that's mean. It's timed? Ugh, okay. This doesn't require you to be perfect. But it does require you to get the next one, okay. Yeah, no, we're dead, I think. Thanks, game. Oh, that just brought me a place I'd already been. Something has changed here. This room is the same. At least the switches stay cleared. Interesting. Oh, okay. Ow. Come on. I think it's the middle one here. Clever. I think that ice block gets destroyed if I hit an enemy with it, so glad I missed there. Money! Progress. Door down here. Oh, that's weird. The weird liftable grass. The enemies in this room. Weird. Maybe it's just a room to like refill on health or something. Hoo boy. For a second I got worried that they were all gonna like spawn in different areas of the dungeon. I wonder if I can bow them. Really? That was unfortunate because it requires you be on exactly the same elevation as the enemy. Even like the sword strike will like travel at least up half a step. Seems kind of bossy. I want to go save. I have 9 herbs. Just roll with it. Pain is unbearable. Person whose dream I'm in. Oh, this guy again. Don't do serious damage to Giles' mind. Okay. He's much worse at dodging this than the other guy was. Oh shit, it just rocked my fairy. This version of the same boss hits way harder than he used to. That's the dream right there. Giles, stay there forever. Do it 3 times now to get him to dismiss? That's annoying. Should have backed out and saved. All right, well, I learned my lesson. I don't know how far back that puts me. Let's see. I think I saved after I did the really annoying part. Whoops. Don't need the berry. Wait, did opening that? Hold on, I didn't do this room before. Wonder if opening that door, the secret door, also opened the way forward and I didn't realize it before. It's possible. Oh, I'm glad I died. Didn't know that that was necessary. I thought it was just a side piece of content. I'll try moving this when it floats up. Doesn't work, okay. Don't know how to get to those chests then. Easy peasy. I gotta do this again. Yay, lights out. No point in killing these guys. Gotta do this again. Wasn't too bad though. Already failed. Let me just back up. Might be allowed to fall off one time, but... Game really likes to put puzzles or difficult sequences right before a boss fight to make you go, do I want to backtrack and save? Yes. I think that stays permanently open, so let me back up now. Did not go where I thought it was going to go. Thank you. Try using magic on this boss. Oops. Hey, it stayed open. Can't. I guess I could have gone further, finished this room, and then saves. If I die again, I'll do that, I suppose. So weird, like, what's up with the liftable, Land in that room. Teleporting enemies are the worst. Right. Should probably save after this room, because this room takes a while. Annoying to backtrack again. I thought I was already done. I swear they do that as a one-by-one cutscene just to punish you for not running back and saving after clearing this. Next, we're in a nightmare. Assuming I can backtrack. I'm not even sure that I can. Let's see. Oh, wow. No, I don't think I can. Oh, that's so cruel. It's a way to give you herbs. Okay. Well, I backtracked the latest I could then, I think. Let's use scrolls here, and I'll probably use the thing that gives me my mana back. That worked. Strength elixir does not, right? Please be enough if I do it 3 times. Oh, thank God. Or 4 times, I meant. Whew. I think if he gets eaten once, you die. Soul Leech has been destroyed. Did I actually save someone for once? Probably saved him because he's a kid. Kids aren't allowed to die. Means I get no upgrades, because the blacksmith only gives me upgrades when people die. Into Magiscar. I think they said that was to the north. Alright, so we only have about 12 minutes left, and it's kind of hard to come by save points in this game, so I think I'm going to save here. Future Marstead, you need to go to Magiscar, which is to the north. Yeah, just go north past, I think it's Mount Toln, they said. You gotta go talk to somebody there. Just finish the dungeons. Hopefully you'll get like a progression upgrade after that. And good luck. We're all counting on you. It's the first book when you go to load the save too.